And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. I hope you're all well. Before we do get into today's video, as always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. Guys, in today's video, as always, here to bring you up to date with all of the latest Rangers news from the last 24 hours. That includes our main headline. Yes, Rangers explosive plans revealed. We'll be discussing that, of course, in detail. But first, I want to start off with this interesting story that I have come across with regards to basically the Rangers youth and Celtics youth for that matter, as well, as this article says. FIFA basically have been urged to increase training compensation for young players and regulate agents more closely amid concerns about the impact of Brexit on the Scottish game and growing fears that the Premiership clubs could be forced to shut down their youth academies. The United Kingdom's exit from European Union in 2020 has resulted in English clubs who are now prohibited from signing promising footballers from the Shenangan area when they are 16, 17, 18, increasingly targeting gifted youngsters north of the border. This broad drain of teenage talents who have often not featured in the first team has substantially reduced the chances of clubs in this country from making a multi-million-pound profit on a player they have spent many years and considerable sums of money developing. That has been created what senior executives, Premiership clubs are described as an existential threat within Scottish football and puts academies at risk of closure. FIFA introduced training compensation regulations back in 2001 in a direct response to the Bosman ruling to ensure that the clubs are rewarded for investing in developing young players. However, World Football governing bodies stressed that they had taken efforts to ensure the amount paid did not become a disproportionate and unduly hinder movement. The executive basically believes that some Scottish clubs now receive fail to reimburse them adequately for their outlay to make it worth their while to subsidise youth development. He basically admitted he would like to see the much maligned organisation updated their figures to protect the long-term viability of academies in Scotland. Basically, he stated the FIFA training compensation metrics were devised a long time ago and they haven't changed the euro since then. The numbers they run are drastically out of date. The cost of running an academy 20 years or so ago is a fraction of what it is now. Training compensation is not supposed to be a transfer fee. It's supposed to be an acknowledgement of the cost incurred to get the player to the level it is at when he leaves the club. If that wasn't moved a euro in the last 20 years, that assumes that costs have gone up in that time, but they have quadrupled easily. The training compensation metric says that the money you pay cross-border is ineligible. It is 10,000 euros per year for ages 12, 13, 14 and 15. Then it ratchets up to as much as 100,000 euros a year between the ages of 16 and 21. But the reality is that English clubs get in the earlier stage, so they can only have to pay the bare minimum. They want to get in early because they know if the boys sign professional contracts, it is then up to their club to set the value. It doesn't make economic sense for them to let these guys stay at the Scottish club and see how they do, because £150,000 development fee might turn into £3 million. They are effectively shooting fish in a barrel. If they bring in 4 or 5 players, it might cost them £500,000, but that is far less than they would have to pay if they tried to bring in a player at the same age from another English club. They have to pay more because of elite player performance pathway rules down there. If a Scottish club are offering a young player £12,000 to £15,000 a year, what is effectively apprenticeship minimum wage, and a club in England is offering them £100,000 a year on a 3-year contract and possibly a £50,000 signing on fee, you can see why players leave. There will be under 23 teams in England with bigger wage bills than Premiership teams in Scotland. The numbers involved here are ludicrous. Celtic and Rangers used to have the pick of the best youngsters, but even they have gone from being the hunters to the hunted because of Brexit. So yeah, I mean, he does have a point with regards to that situation with the youth players, especially. You know, you've seen it a lot, not so much our side as much. Maybe you can see it with the other side of the city. They've lost like a couple of their like gems, if you like. Ben Doak is one of them. I think, well, we lost Billy Gilmore at a time. So yeah, I mean, the development fee is really pennies, to be honest. So I do agree that they should probably go with the inflation of the economy and of the country, and probably turn that compensation fee up a lot more higher. But then again, it would probably work both ways. So we do get players quite cheap, like a Calvin Bassey. So yeah, I do see what they're saying, but also I think it does work out well for us as well, that we don't have to pay as much money in a compensation fee to get players from England. But yeah, that's an opinion on that in regards to it, and he's urging FIFA to kind of act. Now, keeping on the sort of recruitment front, guys, Rangers have revealed their sort of explosive transfer strategy, essentially. Nils Koopman's a famous guy, really, that we've been talking about on the channel, obviously in charge of the sort of recruitment side of things, and has made quite a few gems, and obviously he spoke with Rangers TV. I know a lot of you are not clued in with Rangers TV as of yet, in terms of you're not signed up and stuff, but basically I'm basically going to read you out what was basically said in said interview, and it basically outlines the path that Rangers are trying to go down with regards to the recruitment, and yeah, a fairly explosive plan. Essentially, Nils Koopman has outlined Rangers' transfer strategy and believes the club must be creative in securing players from across the globe with the right hunger and personality to represent the club. As stated, Rangers' squad rebuild continued pace during the summer as 11 players arrived to offset the departure of 15 members of Philippe Clement's squad, which includes experienced names such as Connor Goldson and John Lundstrom. There have been positive early signs in the opening months of the campaign, and under Koopman, who had appointed as a director of football recruitment last December, says it's a continual process that involves a close relationship between himself and Clement. Speaking to Rangers TV in an in-depth sit-down about the summer transfer window, the club's recruitment strategy and planning for January, Koopman commented, "I think everyone is aware about the idea is to bring the average age of the squad down and getting more assets into the club. Some players left and ran out of contracts. There were things before my time after I joined in January. They left and we had to try and replace them. 15 players left, which is something you don't want every season. It's not an ideal scenario. The main thing is with our philosophy is to bring in younger assets, but also don't forget the balance of the squad and being able to get experienced players into helping support them. We were quite ambitious looking back on the window. We had a plan in place that we made together with the board and the manager. It was a very ambitious plan, and although we perhaps didn't do everything that we wanted to do, I always think that if you set the bar high and anticipate players leaving, it was a plan that we constantly adjusted during those months. But in the end, we were able to do it. 11 transfers in, including some experienced players such as Bajrami and young assets such as Yefti, and the first steps are there. I'm quite happy with the squad and the transitions we've made this summer." Rangers looked across the globe, as you probably know, with regards to securing the services of Hamza Igamane and Yefti, who arrived from Morocco and Brazil respectively. The arrival has also been supplemented by experience in form of 30-year-old defender Robin Proper from the Eredivisie, while winger Basilev Cherny arrived having starred in both the Netherlands and Germany. Koopman basically believes it's a delicate balancing act of targeting players who are yet to enter their peak, but also boast the sufficient personality to handle the demands of the club. He added, "It's important to look at over the globe we can compete financially to get the best talents to the club. We also don't want to lose the focus on Scotland and the local market. I think it's also look worldwide, give us an opportunity to sign these talents, and everyone realises that the UK market for us is getting difficult financially. We need to be more creative, think outside the box and look for profiles that are suitable for our league, even if they're from Brazil or Morocco. It's a very physical and demanding league, and we're a dominant team who need to break down low blocks. It's about looking at different markets and trying to find the best profiles that are suitable for us. It's a challenge, but it's not only Brazil and Morocco. We want to look worldwide to where we think we can have success. It's a big advantage to get that desire in the dressing room and hunger to take those next steps. It's a good thing to have a burning desire, but also we're looking for winners and players who can raise the standards on and off the pitch. It doesn't matter if they're only 18 or 25 years old. It's a key thing to have in a place like this. It's something that we try to look at, but it's also a difficult thing to judge as a recruiter or a scout. You need to watch them in several circumstances, including during top games and more easy games. We need to fly all over the world, meet them in person, and do a lot of Zoom calls when the manager is involved. In a way, we need to screen their personality, but it's the most difficult thing to judge because walking out Ibrox with the crowd is something that is difficult to see and predict that they're going to react. I think it's something we put a lot of attention on. So, Nils Koopman, of course, outlined that this is an ongoing process of what we're going to be doing, going around different areas of the globe and trying to get different players in through the door. And I think that's a very, very good approach to actually have. And to be honest with you, I do have confidence in Nils Koopman. I think people would say certain things about some transfers, but you know, he had a lot of players to get out of the door. We got some fees for certain players as well. So, yeah, I do think he's done a good job so far, and I think it will really show over the next couple of seasons in the long-term picture on if that picture is going to be happening. But so far, I like the idea of the plan, and it's something I can get behind because the last few years have been really, really sporadic. But Rangers fans, that's all I've got for you today. International break, still fairly quiet with regards to that Rangers things. But do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below with regards to Niels Koopman. Are you on this bandwagon at this moment in time? As stated, let me know in the comments. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Peace. Just a quick one, guys. I want you to check out the channel's official clothing store, RFC Clothing. Each design is limited edition and is perfect to wear on a match day, on the terraces at Ibrox, down your local, or cozy in the comfort of your own home. Do browse our t-shirts by going down into the link in the description or going to rfcclothing.com.